right.
All right.
Good. Today we're here with Jeff and Ann. Okay. And Jeff, now you got your diamond from us. This is going back a little ways now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just if you can remember, do you remember how you found us initially?
Well, initially, I found I'm a little obsessive about research when I buy things, and she's laughing because she's seen the spreadsheets and me hovering over the laptop. So, I just wanted to kind of be smart about investing in a diamond in a ring. So when you start doing research, and eventually you come over some of your posts either on a bulletin board or some of the tutorial things, and so after the reading, a lot just seemed to make sense. As an engineer, I learned at university, right? The Japanese quality techniques, they measured outcome and not process, and so all of a sudden, when I read about the very first light scopes or the scopes you were using, I was like, wait a second, sparkle is all about light coming out. So rather than try to measure all the angles and everything, if you just measure light coming out, that's probably pretty good proxy for how it's going to look in sparkle. So it made sense. It all clicked. So this was really helpful. And then I noticed also what you'd do. You'd post the scope results, and you'd even make some videos. And I was here with my brother as well, and you could actually see the scope results, and then you see the two diamonds, and it's kind of pretty obvious that it really is an indicator of what looks good and what you like. So I felt like I understood it better. I was kind of an intelligent shopper, and so for me, it was exciting. Now I feel like I can pick out what I want and feel like I'm getting good value for my money, and focus what exactly how much do I want to spend and where do I get the most for that. And so yeah, it was started with the research, and then led us here, and then I really felt like in control, and that I was doing the right thing.
Awesome. Now, did you actually come here to get the diamonds?
I was here with my brother first for his, and then then once I'd had the experience of doing the research and understanding how you can actually measure the light coming back and how you guys would help out, then we met in Munich, and so then I wanted to propose, and I'm like, all right, well I can do a lot better, I think, good old gold than I can do in Europe. So I called and I said, look, I want to compare a couple. I want you to help me out, send some photos, do some scopes, and really get an understanding. So you guys would take the photos and send it out. And I felt pretty comfortable, especially with the new I think with super ideals, right? The Solisferas or some of the other branded ideals that I was
Sure.
These guys really, even in your videos, you can see it's almost it's just so obnoxious how sparkly they are, and that's a little bit what I wanted. I wanted something a little obnoxious. She's so kind and quiet. I'm like, I want to give her something a little big and bold, and
Absolutely.
So the first choice was to pick the rock, and then once you pick that, then the setting's easy, and if I know if somehow the setting really didn't work, but I still have something nice to work on, and I can always change it later. So
awesome.
So yeah, I worked with you guys, and once I kind of picked it out, then we actually did the transaction from afar. I could just wire the money, and you guys actually sent it to South Carolina with family, and so we arrived safe and sound, and it was brilliant, and she had no idea.
That's excellent.
I carried it back to Germany without knowing it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
is
sure.
that right?
Send
My
us
father
some.
asked me to bring something back to him and stick it in my carry-on, so I did without opening it.
Yeah, which was lucky. She wasn't too curious. And,
That's awesome. That's awesome. And in case we didn't mention it, Jeff and Ann are living in Germany. So Jeff did have the opportunity to come and kind of put his eyes to correlate with his eyes what he was seeing online with regards to the all the optical examinations that we perform on diamonds. You're able to see. And then ultimately, Jeff wound up with a
Solisfera.
Yes, Solisfera round. Do you remember the details of your Solisfera?
It's at 1.24. I don't believe it's. I think it's just an.
I think it's ideal.
It's an S2. Maybe it's not a VS2. It's not anything crazy. It has something that I think you need 10x to see the inclusion.
Sure.
And it's actually it's so bright and brilliant that it's actually, I think, very hard to see the inclusion even at 10x because there's so much light coming back.
Sure.
And I think it's a G. Color. So
Okay.
for me that was it was just perfect because it's just outstanding kind of with light return and the little down the scales on the maybe the S2 or the G. It's for me that's you don't even notice that. All you notice is that, and what everyone else noticed and she noticed is, wow, that's really sparkly, and that's what I wanted, and so it was. Sure. It really hit the sweet spot for me.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. While guys want women to enjoy their diamonds, there's a certain pride thing that we want to, we want to know our ladies got the best. It's looking good,
Yeah.
and when people look at it, well, what
Yeah.
was your first reaction? Do you remember your first reaction when you got it?
Well, my first reaction was, wow, he's asking me to marry him. And then I saw the diamond, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect this. This is great.
Now, did you know immediately that there was something different about it? Or did you realize that later when you started comparing and
I
looking?
realized that more in daylight because it was night when he proposed.
Okay.
So I didn't have the good light. I was more just shocked by the size and the number of facets and the gorgeous setting. But then when I see it under light, and I also see other people's rings under light, it's different. It's special.
Yeah.
My
awesome.
girlfriends noticed it.
Yeah,
when they
we've
saw the ring.
had some people ask
They were
about it,
impressed.
and I have a lot to talk about. I can explain, well, this is the super ideals. They have a certain way to cut it, try to get maximum light return, and I think the Solar Sphere has a few more facets than a typical
Right.
ideal. So
91 as opposed to 57.
yeah, and I even told them, look, it's once you kind of know what you're doing, there's another one that's I think Star 129. If you like kind of small pinpricks,
Right.
you go for the more facets. If you want kind of bigger, so once
Yeah.
you know kind of what you're doing and you know how to measure the quality, then you can pick what you want it to look like. Do you want it, kind of little sparkles, big facets with color? I kind of was able to choose then
Sure.
what I wanted, and she's pretty
I love
happy with it.
It's so much
Excellent.
fun seeing it under different lights. There's the office lights, the bathroom lights, the lights on the train, sunlight, and it seems to throw off different colors in every light.
Sure. Every different environment has something
Yeah.
different to offer.
Yeah. Really happy with the Solar Sphere.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Just out of curiosity, when you were doing your research online, did you remember how long you were researching for?
Wow, weeks. I mean, I'm not gonna. I would at lunch, at work, or in the evening a little bit. Do a lot of Google searches, and then you start to chain it. You find one comment or one person that seems to make a lot of sense, and you kind of then follow what they were saying and do some searches on. As soon as you see ideal or super ideal, like okay. So then you search ideal diamond, and you might get a Wikipedia, you might get a something else, and then you'll find a super ideal. So you keep kind of daisy chaining along until you get to a point where you start to feel like, okay, now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting the big picture.
Sure.
And again, but the thing for me was, at the end of the day, it's the measurements. Something that really kind of just made sense.
Sure.
Let's measure how much light is coming back into your eye from the diamond.
Sure.
And that cut through a lot of opinion for me as I'm, the engineer, the scientist. It's
Yeah. You're all about the hard data.
that's what did it for me. And it again, when you come in, it was you literally would. One time there was 2 times. Which one has the higher score on the light return? And it's obvious. And I'm a guy. I'm not. I don't have the eye, but it's still obvious for me. I'm like, well, this one sparkles more, and every time I got it right.
Sure.
That to me said these measurements work.
And as you were hunting and searching and stuff like that, because there are people who maybe say seeing this video is one of the first videos they're going to see on our channel and stuff like that. What is it that separated the Ultimate Diamond Information site from all of the other websites that you were looking at? Like, why the Ultimate Diamond? Why good old gold? Why ultimately at the end of the day? What was it that struck you?
I think it was the first. I felt like it was. The educational part of it was free, so to speak. In other words, there's not pushing you into any certain brand, and in a lot of cases, when you look at some of your advice to people, you're like, look, maybe you do want to go big with a big inclusion because that's what looks better to you. There is no right diamond for everyone, and you see those comments, and you're like, well, that's right. I don't need a perfect D or better. The color is because you don't know. So that kind of non-pushy, but let's make you a smart shopper, so you can make that choice. That was the difference, and quite frankly, the level of detail is significantly higher. I mean, you want to get into how all the scopes work and all those things. It's there. If you can go as deep as you want. So that's what I respected. I didn't. I'm always a little hesitant of someone saying, I got the answer. I know what's best for you. And
right.
And so when I feel, empowered and smart, and feel like someone's going to say, look, I'm going to give you the data. You make the right decision. I'm just going to help you out where you need it. That's who I like to work with. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. That's is there anything else that you want to say before we to our viewing audience?
It's been it's just been really easy. From the research to the transaction itself. You guys have been really helpful, and obviously the results been
I love it.
Been perfect. So we appreciate it.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sure. I appreciate everything.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Hi, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Anne.
We live in Munich, Germany, and I got her diamond and ring at Good Old Gold in Massapequa Park, New York.